Hello, hello, everybody. I am so glad it's Thursday. What a long week. I don't know about you guys, but I have had a long but productive week. I got a lot done at work this week and getting things done here in the craft room, getting some ideas flowing, lots and lots of like mental stuff going on as far as like thinking about where I want to go and what I'm doing and how much work I'm taking on and all that kind of stuff. So I've been doing like a lot of like brain intensive stuff that leaves me really, really exhausted. So today I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, I have a live at 4 o'clock, and I knew what I wanted to do. I had it all ready to go, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to go live or not. But here I am. So we're gonna play for, I don't know, we'll see, 30 minutes. We'll see how it goes after that and go from there. Hey, Sue, just so you know, Sue, I have not forgotten about you. I know that you won that gift certificate. I will get that taken care of today. I was kind of hoping that I would have a survey ready for you guys, but not so much. But things are getting there. Things are progressing. It's always slower than you want it to be when you're working on new things and trying to get things all lined up and all that kind of thing. So it is what it is. But anyway, Sue, I'll get you taken care of today. So other than that, lots of things going on that I don't want to share quite yet, but things are getting there. So last week I asked you guys to, just continue to hang on and hang out and all that good stuff, and that good things would be coming this coming year. So, and I did tell you that I'll be doing the Altenew Academy in January, which I'm very excited about. I'm starting work on that this weekend. So crazy that I've got all that going on too. But one thing that I did want to ask you guys, of course, your subscribers are already here to my YouTube channel, but I really would like you to subscribe to my email list. So there is a link down in the description that says subscribe. Go ahead and click on that and go to the subscribe page and just pop in your email address. So that way you get updates from me. I'm going to start putting out some more frequent updates in my email newsletter, including like all of my live schedule for the month and all that kind of stuff. And that's going to help keep you up to date on all the changes that I have going on and all the new crafty opportunities that I'm hoping to focus on for 2021. Let's see, Nancy's not ignoring you there. I see your question. So the time for the Instagram on the 17th, that will be 1 o'clock US Central. So I think this time of year, that I think it's always still 2 hours ahead of Pacific. So that would be 11 a.m. Pacific time, I believe. So yeah, and it's kind of weird. I started using this new app that allows me to live stream from my computer, and it's not saving to the stories for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but it is what it is. Anyway, so yeah, that's all I have, I think, news-wise. So let's pop down to the desktop and I'll show you the fun things we're going to work on today. Hey, Miss Tamp, hello. Do you need a sub if you already get the emails? No, probably not. You should be good. I can always double check. I know your email, so I'll look you up and double check. Should be good. Okay, so I went through the scraps pile. My scraps bin is starting to get kind of full, right? So I thought we would do a scrap smorgasbord today. And I thought the theme could be backgrounds and what you can do with them. So I do a lot of backgrounds because I do like videos on how to do backgrounds, and I end up with all these extra background pieces left over. I mean, this background here is like 18 months old. So, and I think you guys probably remember that one. I have some other, like this is actually a match to this piece. I just chopped it down to fit into my bin. So I have some backgrounds here, and then I have some of these backgrounds that we did like with the spritz a couple of months ago, and I was testing some different paper. So I pulled out some backgrounds and I thought we would have fun with those today. I've got some white cardstock, and I have a whole pile of stamp sets and embossing folders for us to fool around with. So, hey, Becca, we missed you last week. I'm so glad you're out there. Oh, and actually, here's more things. So I'm glad you're out there. I was kind of worried a little bit. I'm glad to see you. So here's a whole bunch of other ones too. I did not in the description with all of the supplies, I did not put supplies for like all of these things because A, that would take forever, and B, I don't remember everything. If you have a specific question about something along the way, let me know. So this is a whole pile of things that had been stenciled. So I thought these would all be fun to use too. And things are a little bright. Let me adjust. Stand by. I think that'll be okay. Yeah, it's better. Okay, so let's start with some of the simple things. So did you guys happen to stop in to Altenew's Facebook yesterday? Was that only yesterday? Or was that the day before? I think maybe it was Tuesday. I don't remember. Anyway, I did a whole thing with the Perfect Poinsettia 3D embossing folder. So if you haven't seen the new embossing folders from Altenew, they are spectacular because they are 3D. So let me give you a few hints. If you're using a Gemini, just use your 2 plates and the 3D embossing folder in between. You don't need anything else that is that's thick enough. And I think that is kind of the case. Like if you're using a like a big shot, you're just going to take one of these plates out. And so it would be like this, and then your embossing folder, and then your thick plate for your die cut machine. So you just have to be cognizant, like this is thicker than a normal or an old school embossing folder would be. Okay, so you're going to change up your sandwich a little bit. Okay, so we had really a lot of fun with those embossing folders, or with that embossing folder the other day. But so what I didn't share was this one, because this is not Stampin', or this Stampin' Up. Oh my God, I can't believe I just said this. This is not Altenew. I did some like ink spray on some shiny cardstock, and I had like all these, I was testing out this cardstock to see if I liked it. And I ended up with like all of these really cool pieces. And so I shared that I'm going to be making these smaller Christmas cards. They are note card size, so they're 3.5 by 5. And I thought these would probably emboss really, really amazing. So I cut down all of these to my 3.5 by 5, and I won't bore you guys with all of these cuts. So, oh yay, Nancy, you are gonna. Okay, you're seriously going to love these. Okay, so check this out. It's so pretty. I really, really love the way that this embossing folder looks on this glossy paper. So this is basically cheap. This is cheap glossy photo paper. And it's really, really, really stunning on there. So I'm going to do up all of these. I cut them, like I said, I cut these all to size. So like even this really light shaded one here is going to look still amazing. So let me pop this one through and we can take a look at that as well. Like I said, I won't bore you guys with these. So I will run all of these through. There's some gold in here that I sprayed on these. This one has a little bit more black in it. They're just really going to be all dramatic and beautiful. Just like that. And I'm not putting anything else sentiment-wise on these. It's just going to be this embossed image on the cardstock. And that's it. This is going on to the card base, and that's going to be it for these. So I wanted to show you guys these with the poinsettia embossing folder. So that helps me get like 10 or 15 more done, right? Okay, so, but I thought I have the Geo steps, and I had these other two that were, this was the smush from this one. So remember what I was doing with these? I can't remember what episode that was, but I sprayed a whole bunch onto like this shiny paper, and then I would take a second piece and I would smush it and lift. So this is the result of a smush and lift Okay, so I have like this one is a little lighter, this one is a little darker. So this is the Geo Steps embossing folder. It is angles and angles and angles. So let's pop this one through. And like, I want to get as much gold on here as I can. Oh, get in there. So with these, I don't have, well, actually I do have an idea. Oh. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So now not only do I have that paint on there, now I have, oh, check that out. Isn't that amazing? That looks so cool. So now this has a texture to it as well. Okay, let me run this one through. And then I had an idea for these guys. So let me go grab some dyes. Okay. So I totally forgot what I wanted to do with these, but let me pull these out. So these are the Heffy Doodle Imperial Stitched Rectangles. So they have metric stitched rectangles. So if you're over the pond, you may want them. And then this is the Avery L Wonky Stitches die. I always wanted one that was kind of like a wonky stitch, like the one from Simon Says stamp, but this is from Avery L. So what I thought I would do with these, oh, that one is stunning too. Check that out. That is so cool. Okay, so I might have to do this technique for my next sketch starters because this is just really, 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 really pretty. Okay, I need... Oh. I just needed to grab my extra piece here. Okay, so what I want to do with these, join the embossing on the sheet. Let's see. Well, okay, so here's the problem with joining the embossing. The angle of the little diamond in the center and the angles of the diamonds as they go is most definitely one direction over the other. So you would have to, let's see, you just couldn't. Because see, like it would have to continue on this way. If it was small enough to fit through the center, through this little space that they provide here, then yes, you could definitely continue joining. But for this particular pattern, you couldn't really do that. But look, I got 6 inches of it, which really is the majority of it. So when I look at this, what didn't it cover? It was just those little end pieces. So it's really not that bad of a deal. All right, and then on this one, like it just missed this little end here. So again, it did not, it didn't miss too much. Okay, so what I thought I would do with these is take a stitch rectangle. Now, they don't have to be stitched rectangles. That happens to be what I have. I don't have regular rectangles. And I believe this largest one will get me, yes, it will get me something that will fit on a regular card base, which is what I wanted. So if I go in then and cut these down, everything's all over the place now. Okay, so I'm going to cut these down to card base size. So that's Geo Steps. And when you get this, you'll see how like the angles are very specifically going in one direction. So yeah. Okay, so that's Geo Steps. We did Perfect Poinsettia. Okay. So now it has a little stitched little bit of stitching around there. But like I said, you don't have to do the stitching. It just happens to be this is the only rectangle dies I have. And I don't have a travel cutter to just chop these down with you guys. I have to go over to my bigger cutter to do that. All right, so I'm going to cut those down. And what I want to do is these. Okay, so enough of the loud sounds for the moment. So let me set this aside. All right, so this is the Waffle Flower Simply Said, and this got hugs, hello, miss you, love, sorry, and thanks. And there are coordinating dies for the words, which I love. Okay. And I've got some white cardstock here. Actually, put this closer. Put this in there for the moment. Okay. So I'm going to stamp some words. And then I thought those could go just right onto the there we go. Just go right onto that card base and look really, really awesome. Okay, so the hello is really pretty. And the hugs. I'm going to do up a couple of these while I'm putting them together. So we have them for a few. And the thanks. All right, I could do these. Actually, I could do these up in any color, but I just happened to grab my VersaFine Clair in Nocturne. I thought we would just stick with one ink color today and call it good. Any of the VersaFine Clairs would make these sentiments look unbelievable. I really, really like the crispness of these. And look at how nice that is. It's as if someone actually sat there and wrote them out in calligraphy. Gorgeous. I need to... All right, so how was your week? Did you have a good productive week like I did? Get things done. Holidays are upon us now, like all the Christmas ads are out and blah, 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 blah. I might just, no, I don't want to leave that in there because I'm going to do some other fun things shortly. So let me put these away. Okay, so we might come back to these, the dies that we need. All right, so for these, let's see, the hello. I like that they're open too, so you can line them up. You truly can line them up. It's always frustrating when you get a die set and you want it obviously to cut out what you've stamped, but it let's see, I don't even know. I'm looking at these and I don't know what they say. Oh, that's awesome, Sue. I'm glad that you're diving into the sketches. I know you say that they're a challenge for you, but I'm glad that they're a good challenge for you. I saw that you entered one into to our latest sketch starter challenge, so that's good. Okay, and I don't know. Betcha. That's love. Oh, this is it. It just didn't look like it. They are a challenge. Oh. Okay, so then I'll cut these out. Okay, so I'm going to cut those out, and then I've got my 2 pieces here. And I don't know, I mean, they've got that embossing on them already. So I really didn't know that they needed anything else. They might get a flower or something added to them. I'm not sure. But look at that. Look at how nice that cuts out. I was thinking that just, you know, something like this would be good enough. It's got that nice shine on it. It's got the embossing. It's got the really cool background. And then it's just going to have a sentiment on it. Why not? So I think that makes them like this. So this one, especially like a thanks for a guy. That would be a really cool card to send, right? You could add some, actually, if we added some enamel dots, that would be like, I think, the perfect finisher for those. So let's finish those. I'm gonna set that aside. So we need some glue and some enamel dots. So at first, the orange is going to seem like an odd choice, but I don't know. If there wasn't the purple in there, I would totally go for the orange because it would give me a really high contrast, but I think I might just stick with gray. Come on. Okay, so for this one, just gonna pop the thanks on. It's a little slick, the paper, so I just want this to sit for a second. There. I really want to use the orange, but I really don't think it's gonna go right. That one. Oh. Here. Purple. So shades of purple, these are newer from Altenew. And I'll go for the darker purple ones. Oh, this is perfect. So I like to line these up small and large together, and then the medium one kind of on its own. And there. So that's pretty cool. Right. All right, so there. I'm busting into the scraps, people. This one, I'm going to put at an angle. I'm going to match up against this angle here on the gold here, and kind of on the same line as these diamonds here. Can you see that? There we go. So right down this line here. It's just speaking me to go that direction. Speaking to me. One thing I did this week is I packed up 200, and like literally 200 cards that I've created in the last probably 6 months to give to a local retirement community, because they're all still in quarantine. lockdown, and I thought they would really benefit from them. I sent them a box earlier this year, but I thought, well, here we go. I've got some more. Okay, so I'm going to use the same shades of purple, but I'm going to go for the lighter ones. I really like these super, super light ones, but I'm going to go for, I think, the medium ones. So again, a large, the small, and then the medium. And they match my nail polish. I like that too. So this is kind of a mixed media look for sure. It's just missing like some embossing paste, right? All right, so there we go. Those have been in the box for a while. I'm glad to have them ready to go onto a card base. Cool. All right. So let's move on to my next idea. Okay. So for my next idea, I was going to do, okay, I'm going to set these aside for the moment. Christmas. You know, I'm already doing what I'm doing, but I have another stamp set that I really love that I need to find. Where did it go? Oh, it's already out. Okay. No, it's not. I lost it, guys. Those we're going to do. That's that. Not there. It's a huge stamp. I don't know how I can... Oh, it was just hiding. All right. So this one, I love this stamp. This is Catherine Pooler. And it's called Vintage Baubles. And so this is like another quick kill one. I have the link down below. I haven't looked, actually, I haven't looked to see if it's still available, but I hope it is because it's an amazing stamp. And it's just got all these gorgeous ornaments on it. I love vintage ornaments. Love, love, love. Okay. So pop that in there. Oh, I need to pull out my extra padding because this is red rubber, so it doesn't need to have all the extra padding in that when you're using your MISTI. In case you didn't know that, if you're using red rubber, you take this out. Okay, so I have this really cool, this was watercolor paper that I spritzed with a whole bunch of different mediums, mostly sprays. I'm just trying to get a feel for them and see what they look like. There's some gold spray in there too, just to see how that would look. And I need to cut these down. Right. So pop that in here. And I'm going to use my VersaFine Clair. I'm going to actually grab another magnet to keep this down. Oh, you know what I am going to do? I'm going to grab Sue, thank you for reminding me the other day, a piece of my Sizzix sticky sheet, because that's really helpful when you have a piece of warped cardstock like that. All right, so the sticky sheet goes down and it helps stick this in place. And of course the magnets do help, but it's going to help get that corner down. So that way when I'm putting this down into the corner, it's not going to, smear or anything, 'cause it's going to go flat down on there. Right. So love this stamp. Because it's classic and it's beautiful. It's like perfection to me. This stamp couldn't get any more perfect than it already is. we go. I think this stamp looks absolutely stunning on just a piece of white cardstock. It looks stunning if you do a watercolor technique with it, if you heat emboss with it. It's just really an amazing stamp. All right, so there. So now it's watercolored with the baubles on top of it. So I thought I would do a whole bunch of those. I can cut these down then to whatever size. I can use my rectangle dies to cut them if I want, or whatever. I bet if I put this the other way, I could have gotten 4 out of here. All right, I know I just inked this up, but I'm living dangerously. Okay. All right, so if you guys have old backgrounds, pull them out, find a really great stamp set that you can just layer right over it. Ta-da! And then I'll just flip this the other direction. Let's see, I'm going to get a little overlap. I'm not concerned because I can cut it out smaller, right? Yep. All right. Sue likes it. She's got a big smile. Yes. Actually, they almost lined up perfectly. All right, so that's 3. That's all I'm going to do with this one for now, because I think I want to finish these. So let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to come back to that in a second. Okay, so let's die cut these. So I'm going to die cut these and then I'm going to stamp again on top of that. So this one I can do this large die. So this one I will run through. I feel like I'm speed crafting today. Let's pop that through while I grab. So see, look, I've got extra here now. If I'd been really thinking about it, I would have flipped this the other way. And then I would have been done with this scrap. I don't know why that didn't cut. Okay, so I've got this one. And then for this, let's see. I kind of want to cut these both out at the same time. Oh, this will, the large one will actually work for both of them. But I'll show you a slight variation by cutting one smaller. So that, and then the larger one. Let's see what we got. That one needs to go through again, I think. So what happens when you get too close to the edges, sometimes they don't like to cut out completely. And that is what happened. But they gave me enough of a line that I can cut. Yeah, so see, like this one didn't cut all the way through because they were so close together that it didn't get enough pressure. I could have put a shim in and that would have fixed it as well. But I do have a nice little line that I can just snip with my big scissors. Because see, it was almost cut all the way through. Okay, so here's a smaller version. And then this actually didn't cut at all on this side. So I will have to cut that with my machine. All right, stand by, guys. My video decided to go out again. Did not work. I don't know why it doesn't like to. There we go. All right, I am back. Sorry about that. All right. So yeah, so this is like a crafting on the go, right? Like I just had some ideas in my head and we're trying them out. So this is kind of how my scrap bin tends to go because, you know, I'm just like, oh, what can I make from this stuff? And it's all kind of random. Okay, so I'm popping in my, and this is like when like your whole room ends up being a mess because you've got stuff all over the place because you're trying out different ideas and all that kind of thing. So, you know, it's not always like, not always super structured, and that's okay. Okay, so here is, this is a full size 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. All right, so I've got 2 of those. And then I've got this smaller one. So see how that would fit, you know. Ooh, actually, that's kind of cool. The way that I happen to cut that almost. Hey guys, this is kind of a happy accident. Okay, so let's stand by on that one for a second. Okay, so these are great stamp sets from scrapbook.com, Big and Bold Holidays and Big and Bold Christmas. I don't have these on the list, but I will add them. I'm more of a Happy Holidays person than I am a Merry Christmas person. Or, you know, 'tis the season to be jolly. That's a good one too. Actually, let's do that. So what I was thinking is, because I'm going to stamp this in black and I need this piece again. So pop that in there so that this sits a little more flat. Okay, so all right, so this is going to be black on black on black. So I'm not worried that it's got stamping underneath it. This is going to cover it up if we stamp it dark enough. Or I could always heat emboss it, right? And that would really help it stand out. So there we go. So this one just needs to go on a card base, which is awesome. Finished. I could add some embellishments to that too if I wanted to. Maybe some sequins on that one. Okay, so this is the smaller piece. Now what I just realized is that these are actually going to stack on top of each other like almost perfectly. So I'm going to try and do that. Okay. So I'll take the same sentiment. And pop this on here. All right. So this is the smaller one, obviously. And I just want to get this really nice and black. And this was on watercolor paper, guys. So of course there's going to be a lot of texture on there that it needs to overcome. So that's why I'm like stamping this 3-4 times. All right, there. So that is it for this stamping. What I'm going to do is I need a piece of, so a piece of foam. Let's see, so that was 3/4. Okay, so a piece of fun foam. And I'm going to pop that onto this piece here. Okay. So a piece of foam. Let's see. All right, and then what I noticed is I'm going to be able to match that up. Guys, I couldn't have planned this any better if I'd tried, but look at that. I can match it up and it's like perfect. Is that crazy? That will never happen again on accident. It will be carefully planned and placed and blah, blah, blah. And that was pretty amazing. So yeah, I'm not getting 3 cards out of it. I'm only getting 2, but I'm getting a really, really cool technique out of this one for sure. There. Ta-da! And it looks really cool because on this side, on this top piece, the pink is up here in the corner, and on this one, the pink is down in the bottom below it. So because we flipped the cardstock around, right? I mean, guys, this is just, I'm flabbergasted at how cool that ended up. So there you go. Fun. All right, so more scraps out of the way. And it's already 4:45. Guys, it's been crazy. Oh, fun. Becca, I hope your surgery goes okay. Well, I'll be thinking about you. Elbow surgery, that does not sound fun at all. And of course, we're getting into cold weather season and ice season, so please be careful while you're out there. We don't want you like accidentally falling and making things worse, right? Okay, so the last ideas that I had kind of go along the same lines as the Christmas one, but a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to pull all of these stencil-y pieces. I mean, some of these should look familiar, guys. You should remember some of them. Others, maybe not. So this one we made just a couple weeks ago. So actually, let's start with that one. Last in, first out. So I'm going to pop this in here. And I'm going to take, I want something a little darker. So this is Floral Shadows. Yes, Floral Shadow. And it has all of these. This coordinates with a washi tape. It's like got blue flowers on it and stuff. The dies do, at least. You can cut those out. But I liked the shadows. So this is similar to the projects that we did a couple weeks ago, where I created that silhouette look, right? So there's both flowers and leaves. And I want to make sure that I have like the leaves equally distributed. It doesn't have like all flowers in one space and all leaves in another. So let's move some of these around a little bit. And I want to see a little bit of the pattern in here. So we want to leave a little bit of breathing room. But I'll be able to do up this whole thing. Because it's got these little pieces too, which is really great. So little pieces, little pieces. Oh, I decided I'm definitely not doing a live on Thanksgiving. So next week will be the last live for the month. And then we'll talk about December. Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you guys. And I will ask you as soon as I get this stamped. Because it's in my head now, I will definitely remember. Oh, you know, like being comfortable with the Altenew products, like I'm using them all the time. I'm doing their lives with them. I'm doing classes. I'm doing Altenew Academy. Like I just dove into Altenew because I think it's really my kind of stamp, right? Like I don't necessarily like the little creatures and characters and super whimsical things, although I like it every once in a while. I'm more of like a geometric shapes and a modern look and of course mixed media and that kind of thing. So it really does play well into my strengths in a different way than the other designers for sure. Because like if you look at me versus say like Amber or JC or, you know, Therese or, you know, whomever, we all have such different styles, which I think is really great. I'm glad that Altenew likes to diversify their design team, that we don't all do the same things, because that would be, in my opinion, very boring. This really helps to showcase what can be done with their products, no matter who you are. Okay, so this was done on watercolor paper too. So in trying to get like a full solid image is a little difficult. And I think my VersaFine Clair needs to be re-inked, to be honest with you. So these two are essentially like the same. They're both oil-based pigment inks. So I'm going to pop into my Obsidian because I think this one is a little juicier than my VersaFine right now. It seems to be. Oh, great. Becca, I will be excited to see what you think of it. Are you going to do gel prints with it? Okay, that helps. But you know, okay, so here's the thing. I've stamped this like 5 times, right? And I haven't gotten a solid image yet. I don't know that I will without lots of effort. So I'm going to leave it. And here's the thing. It looks really cool this way. So let me pull this off and show you a little closer. So you see how you can see the blue popping up through it? I think that looks just fine. It gives it a little bit more, honestly, I would say this is almost like, it reminds me of French for some reason, like a very Parisian kind of look, a mix of these shadowed florals over the geometric. It's just really, 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 really pretty. Okay, so if you have old geometrics in your stash, stenciled items, whatever, grab them and try this. So with this, what I'm going to do is cut it down for a card, maybe a slimline card, maybe a regular size. And I'm going to go back to those waffle flower stamps. Oh, see, look at how gorgeous that's going to look on there. And add the waffle flower sentiment. That's going to be awesome. So yeah, those are going to look really great. And I can get 2 out of this one for sure. Okay, so let's, oh, before I go any further, so this is what I want to ask you guys. Okay, so if you've been following my videos, you know that I do stuff for Imagine Crafts as well. And I've made both of these for Imagine Crafts. Actually, this one I don't think has come out yet. But they are those chipboard tags that I was telling you guys about. And you've probably already seen this video for this sugar skull. This one is coming out. And it is just super awesome and full of texture and fun stuff. So my question to you is, would you like to do one for the holidays? I would spread it across 2 weeks. So like the first 2 Thursdays in December, and we would get it done in that time period. And I would have the supplies ready for you next week, so you could order them if you wanted to follow along. So let me know in the comments as we're finishing up here today if that's something you'd be interested in, because I think this would be a ton of fun. Even if you don't want to actually create it, but you want to follow along and see what's entailed, so that way you can be like, oh, I could actually do that. Let me know. So, and actually watch the video on this because it's not as scary as it seems. So it's just full of amazing beauty. Both of them are. All right. Let me know. Yeah, look at all those layers. It's so cool. All right. And I'll make sure that it's not so many products that it's like I can't afford all that. We'll make it totally reasonable. Okay, so let's do, in my video, my audio is like, no, I'm not going to play well today. My video, I should say. There we go. Looks like I beat that monster. I figured out how to fix that problem. Well, that's a pain in the butt. So we don't like it when the video goes out. Okay. Hey, at least the audio sounds great. So I've got all of these stencils on watercolor. Like a lot of these were prints where I did like the watercoloring on the stencil and I flipped it over and I just printed it. So like here's one that's, it's actually on both sides. Which side do I like better? So let's do up just a couple more of these since I already have this set up. Let's see if I can stand it. Move this one up just a hair. And then I'll have a whole bunch of these that I can do with the waffle flower stamps. These are like 5x7 pieces, so I need to just adjust a little bit. All right, cool. You are game. All right. Yeah. Okay. So we'll plan on that. Next week, I'll talk a little bit. I'll have it done and we'll talk a little bit about what it entails and I'll get you the supply list. And then the first 2 weeks in December, that's what we'll do. We'll have like a little Christmas holiday home decor tag. The leaf one is going to come out on a video, so you'll get to see that. It's pretty cool. All right, so again, I'm getting a lot of texture because of the watercolor paper. There we go. So that's pretty cool. It's got like the texture in the background. I like the blue one better still. So there we go. But I'm going to do the same thing with that. And then I think that's it. That's kind of what that's all I'm feeling today, guys. You know what? This is a pigment ink. The mixed media, I don't know that it would work any better or worse. We can try it. Let's try. We'll do one. Because I think... Let's see, actually, let's do, we'll do this and then I'll use one of the green mixed media ones and we'll see what happens. Those are super juicy right now, so I think what the problem is that I need to re-ink my pads. At least my VersaFine, because I have a re-inker for that one. There's not a re-inker for the Obsidian Black yet. So let me get off as much as I can here. I'm going to do the darkest green, so it will be okay. Okay, so Sue was talking about this, the Altenew mixed media ink. So it's the same kind of ink pad. It's like a firm foam pad, and it's also it's not an oil-based pigment ink, it's a water-based pigment ink. So, and this is still textured, so I don't know that it's going to be any better or any worse. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, cool. How to re-ink our ink pads. Okay. That's the last thing I'll do today. Yeah, see, so I'm still getting, I'm still getting the texture here. But yeah, they, this one is juicier, like I said, so that's, I'm getting a better initial result. Actually, I like this with the green. It's really pretty. So there we go. So having a better ink pad will help. Let me grab, I need to find it. So this is my VersaFine Clair re-inker. All right. So always double check your re-inker to your pad before you re-ink it, because we don't want to put the wrong color on the wrong pad, right? So with whether it's a dye ink or a pigment ink, I always do almost the same thing. So this happens to be a little thicker. So you see how it's just sitting on there like that? It will eventually seep in, but I'll take my nozzle here and just kind of run it around and then go the other direction and just smear it around. So with something like this, like a pigment ink, so if you're going to re-ink your Tim Holtz Distress inks, this would be the same thing. Let it sit for about 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, so that the ink can really get distributed well. So let's see. Actually, I'll bring this back into the picture since I haven't removed these yet. All right. And then this was the one that we were working on, and I said, oh, it's not super juicy. So let's pop that back in. And it should line up just fine. Okay, so now I'll use I would let this sit maybe for a little bit longer, but see, I can see this is inking up better already. Does not matter. You do not have to store your ink pads upside down. It stays suspended in the pad, so it's not going to make any difference how you store them. Even if you store them on their sides, they're going to be just fine. The ink isn't going to shift from one side to the other. So there we go. Yeah, so I've got a better impression, especially on this one over here. And you can see, I actually can't see. So you can see how it left such a nice impression over here. That's because it was on a flat surface. This is so textured. This watercolor paper that I had used, at least this side of it is super, super textured. If I was to stamp that onto, so this paper is much smoother. If I stamp it onto here, you're going to see that it shouldn't have as much texture to it. It should really stamp fairly smooth. This is still watercolor paper, but it's thinner and it's smoother. Yeah, see how that turned out really well, just for a first press on a watercolor paper. If that was just plain white cardstock, it would be perfect. Actually, I do have some white cardstock. Yeah. So re-inking definitely makes a difference, especially when you're talking about stamping onto watercolor paper. That turned out awesome too. So there you go. Now I have all of those panels that I'm just going to cut down some of those waffle flower sentiments and pop those right on like we did with that other duo at the beginning. And I'll have a whole nother pile of cards done, ready to be donated, because I've been donating a lot of cards lately. So there you go, guys. Hey, I'm so glad you guys hung out with me today. We had a nice little crafty chat, and looks like you guys have some exciting new craft products in your hands, some new paper to explore with your gel plates. I'm so glad you guys are going to give that a try. And I will work up a tag for us to do in December, and we will talk about that next week. In the meantime, actually, if I happen to get it done or anything in advance, I will pop something out through the newsletter. So do make sure that you're subscribed to my newsletter. That's in the link down below where it says subscribe. There's a link over there and it takes you to a page. You just pop in your email address and it'll subscribe you to my newsletter. So there you go. And that's it, guys. So I will see you all next week. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend and you get some craft time in. Don't forget about the Sketch Starters Challenge. It is out there and waiting for you to play along. So I will see you guys next week and have a good one.